From a 16-year-old bodybuilder trying to become a personal trainer and a high school dropout with nowhere to turn, searching for success, to building an insanely successful social media following, creating one of the leading online advertising agencies, and making around $30 million by the age of 23, Iman Gadzhi has truly arrived at his destination on the journey of finding success. One thing that definitely helped Gadzhi reach these kind of heights was not getting addicted to video games.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the last time I ever played a video game out of my own accord was when I was 13 years old.
Although it might seem that he didn't have the same struggle you had or might have currently in terms of a gaming problem, Iman Gadzhi actually has a good perspective and advice on gaming, as he knows how dangerous video games can actually be. The first piece of advice from Iman Gadzhi is to see video games for what they actually are.
Just objectively look at what you're doing and just understand that you might have some vices or you might have some things, and don't judge yourself for it, but just see it for what it is.
What he means by see it for what it is to really understand what role video games play in your life. If you return home from school or work and do all your responsibilities and then relax by playing video games for a few hours, you most likely don't have a video game problem. However, if you neglect your sleep, daily tasks, relationships, basic hygiene, or anything else you should be doing just to put in a few more games, then yeah, you might actually have a problem. But how can you know for sure? Well, stick around till the end of the video, as in the end, I'll share a tip for you to identify what the difference is between a gaming hobby and a gaming addiction. Just whatever you do, don't try to rationalize your video game addiction.
You get all these people who are suffering from feeding off their own copium of like, no, video games helps me socialize. A video game lets me relax, blah, blah. So if people want to do video games in that sense, hey, I'm playing video games. I accept it's bad for me, but I'm going to do it either way. You have my blessing. But I just don't like losers who are like, no, like, it helps me like socialize with my friends.
Now, when Iman Gadzhi calls people losers for playing video games and wasting their lives, if you are in a position where you have a gaming problem, don't get offended and try to look at this as just tough love from a man who clearly knows how bad video games can be. If you're in a place where you feel like a loser, feeling depressed, dependent, anxious, then accepting your circumstance is actually the first step towards improvement. Denial is not helping you at this point. Iman Gadzhi is actually not against gaming when it's used in moderation as a reward.
If you're very happy with where you are in life and you've accomplished all the things and you're the person that you want to be and you want to play video games, go for it. But if you're not proud of who you are, then stop playing the video games.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. When you can actually rest and spend some leisure time, that's a time when you can moderately game and still have a fulfilling life. It's as simple as looking at your daily schedule and putting all the gaming activity at the end when all other daily duties are done. Okay, but what if you do all that and decide whether to moderate or quit, but you still feel like you are not in a place in life where you should be? According to Iman Gadzhi, video games are not the only bad energy source in your life. 98% of people who claim to be depressed aren't depressed. They're just addicted to fast food, porn, and video games. They don't sleep properly, don't get any sunlight, and never exercise. Fix your body first, it'll fix your mind. Consuming easy pleasures and not engaging in good habits is the #1 reason that you might feel horrible. You might notice that all these pleasurable activities are pretty much escaping reality. Porn lets you avoid the struggle of approaching a woman and building a relationship. Fast food gives you chemicals in your brain that numb you from the harsh reality of life. They make you feel very comfortable instead of nourished. And video games, well, you know what they do. Not doing proper habits can be just as damaging. Avoid sleep, don't get enough sunlight, and never exercise. I mean, let's be honest, it's a perfect recipe to feel like crap. Putting all your time into customizing and leveling up your virtual characters, you tend to neglect your own life. Fortunately, Iman Gadzhi knows the exact mindset to have in order to prevent this.
I want you to zoom out and look at yourself from the third perspective while you play video games. Just really imagine it in your head. Do you look heroic? Do you look like the hero in your own story? Now compare the way that you look in the third person when you hit a crazy workout, or when you get an amazing few hours of work in that's gonna further you to your goals. And now that is something to be proud of. You need to be the hero in your own story. I need you to start living as if God is watching at all time, because quite frankly, He is. Everyone gets their sense of self-worth from somewhere. So why not get it from the real world? We are literally living in Sims. You can continuously wake up every single day and upgrade your character.
I really just don't understand why anyone on earth would want to commit so much time to a fake world, a fake video game, when we're living in the coolest video game in existence. I just don't get it. And this is also why I hate the metaverse so much, because I know it's just going to be another extension of like this weird world. I'm sorry, but to me, it's just a world for losers. Why would you want to make your life so good in some fake world when we've got the real world?
Like the best game, I think it was in your video, is the game of life.
Yeah, the
So
game of life.
Why not?
We're in the coolest video
Yeah.
game that's ever been made.
We
So
said that in our last video. It is the best game.
100%.
It's real.
In summary, play the game of life. One of the most addictive elements of gaming that separates it from other drugs is the simulation of reality. We naturally crave struggle, action, achievement, and success. However, in the real world, this striving comes at a much slower pace. It doesn't come through instant gratification. Video games multiply the speed of how and what we normally achieve by 100 times. That's why gaming can be so destructive. Playing the game of life is realizing that you do something in reality. You struggle for it and get it. You achieve it. You improve, gain real skills, and actually live your life. These things stick with you. You find it fulfilling. If you finish a match in Fortnite and get that victory royale, it feels very good. But when you turn off your console, what do you take away when you move away from the screen? Nothing. Like Iman Gadzhi said, you need to be the hero in your own story. These are the words to live by and the mentality you should have. All right, so how do you know if you have a gaming hobby or a gaming addiction? Well, you can head over to gamequiz.com and take the quiz on the homepage. It'll ask you 9 short questions that determine the difference between a gaming hobby and an addiction. Now, if you want to learn from someone who's overcame their video game addiction, then check out this video on Alex Becker.